Have you been thinking about cutting those wires on your headphones? Is it time? Are we there yet? In today's video, I'm looking at the final UX2000 Bluetooth headphones. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews, and here we are with the final UX2000. Now, these are priced at $119, so they are a bit cheaper than the UX3000 that came out recently. They have active noise cancelling, or ANC, and they have a pretty fantastic battery life. We'll get into all of that in a minute. We've got dynamic drivers, of course, and this is what they look like. The build quality is actually fantastic. It's really nice. This is what you would expect when you pick up a pair of Sony's or Bose headphones, for example. They are primarily plastic, but it is the good kind of plastic, and they have this nice matte finish on them so they don't pick up fingerprints. The UX3000 had this kind of interesting Shibo finish, it's called, which is what you can see there. It's a kind of I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it has a light texture on there. This time they've gone for just a plain matte finish. I think it works really nicely. The plastic actually feels better quality than it does on the UX3000. This plastic feels a lot thinner. Now, in terms of comfort, these are fantastic. As you can see, the ear cups do rotate. These also fold up, by the way, so great for storage or transportation. Nice and compact. The ear pads are super nice, soft and plush. They are a little thicker than they are on the UX3000 as well. So there have been some incremental upgrades in terms of the build. One other thing, the ANC button now resides on the right ear cup, whereas on the UX3000 it resides on the left. Now, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to my latest supporter on Patreon. If you would like to help out and support the channel, check out the link down below. Head over to Patreon and you'll find all the details down there. It would be much appreciated. Now, the UX2000, in terms of battery life, it's got a really good battery life. We're looking at about 45 hours. Yes, so you heard that right. 45 hours with ANC turned on, and up to 60 hours with the ANC turned off. That's pretty outstanding. That is up there with, you know, the class leaders in this price range in terms of battery life. So very, very impressive. And speaking of the ANC, it's actually really good on these. Much better than it was on the UX3000. As soon as I turn the ANC on, all the noise from my PC and the fans and my air conditioner are just gone. The room goes completely silent. So they've made excellent progress with the ANC. Battery life, like I said, is excellent. Build and comfort are both fantastic. Now let's get into the sound. And the sound is perhaps where things start to go a little awry, but it really depends on what you expect from these headphones. If you're not an audiophile and you don't really know who Final is, you will probably love the sound of these. However, if you are a seasoned audiophile and you're looking for something that's truly high fidelity, these probably aren't going to do it for you. Let's talk about why exactly. So overall, the UX2000 has a warm sound signature with a punchy elevated bass, rich mid-range, and a smooth treble. It is the kind of sound you can listen to for hours at a time without feeling any treble fatigue, but if you are averse to bass, you might feel fatigued in that way. Speaking of the bass, yeah, pretty good sub bass on these. Nice and satisfying. You get a pretty good rumble down there. And I think, honestly, if someone listened to these and wanted more bass, let's just say you're probably a serious bass head. The mid bass delivers a punchy and rich texture, diverging from the expected crispness of a brand like Final, if you are familiar with them. Well, not necessarily if you have heard the UX3000, because it was pretty similar in terms of bass. Some might call the bass somewhat bloated. I might call it that, somewhat bloated. It tends to overshadow the mids and the treble on some tracks. Now for the mid-range, UX2000 mids have a warm velvety tone, as you might expect. The lower mid-range is nice and rich, imbuing male vocals with power and presence, while female vocals and instruments in the upper mid-range struggle to maintain clarity and definition, and that is in part because of the bass and in part due to the treble tuning, which I'll get to. Furthermore, that seamless transition between the lower and the upper mid-range frequencies contributes to a nice cohesive and immersive sound, albeit one that I couldn't call high fidelity. The cloying warmth obscures details within vocal performances and instrumentals, and overall you're just going to get this very thick presentation. And there's nothing really wrong with that. It's just, you know, when people probably think of the final headphones, the wired headphones, they're thinking, you know, pretty high fidelity stuff. Then we've got the treble. I would call the treble muted. It lacks clarity and it lacks crispness, imbuing a kind of a dark tone to the overall sound signature. And moreover, it doesn't pack enough energy to counterbalance the weight of that bass, and as a result, transitions and percussion attacks, they sound somewhat blunted. And on top of that, the soundstage is fairly intimate and sort of closed in. So where does that leave us in the end with the UX2000? Look, they're not bad at all. Like I said, the build quality, battery, ANC, all fantastic. Really nicely done. They look fantastic. By the way, they come in this cream color and they come in a black color as well. So they're a bit cheaper than the UX3000. That's great. Unfortunately, no aptX or no LDAC. I think I forgot to mention that. Whereas the UX3000 did have those. So, you know, but having said that, they don't actually sound any worse than the UX3000. Both have a kind of a thick bassy sound. I think the average person off the street would probably find these quite good, but like I mentioned, if you are an audiophile looking for something a little bit, you know, elevated in terms of sound signature, if you are an audiophile, then you might be disappointed. So let's wrap it up there. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Parfam audiophile style. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'll see you later.